If you think crypto and altcoins have been hot in the past month, you have no idea, because there's so much more to come. And Bitcoin is at a very crucial moment right now to enter this hot phase as the leader of the space, as the leader of the market. So let's look at the market cycle, answer some very crucial questions on where we are right now, and check what has to be done or what measures we can still take. Hey everyone, it's the Patient Hodler coming at you with a quick market video update. And if you enjoy these updates, please smash up the like button. Let me know by smashing the like to a new all-time high that you enjoy these updates and want more of these. And make sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications on to never miss out on videos and live streams. But with that out of the way, let's jump already into what we have in front of us. So we're looking at Bitcoin on the monthly chart right now, as so often, and we see that we have only 10 hours left until there is the monthly close. This monthly close is coming in today, and this monthly close is probably the most important indicator right now for the entire cycle and cycle development. So at the moment we're sitting at 70,691, not when you're watching it, at the moment of me taking this video. So maybe a couple of hours before you're seeing that. But nonetheless, these 10 hours are crucial right now. Why? Because every time that we had a monthly close above the previous all-time high, we went into the absolute hot and degenerate phase of the market that usually lasted several months and had several months of green price action beyond it. So for example, if we're looking here, we have about 376%. If we're looking at where we breached this all-time high with a candle close, after that we had another 1,200% move. And if we see, okay, diminishing returns 400%, let's say we only get like 100 or 200% move, it would still say that Bitcoin doubles from here. So that would put, let's say, diminishing return 200%, something like that would put it beyond 200,000 in a very good case, okay? So that is what we can expect. Now, this is very close to not breaching the previous all-time high, or not closing above, because the difference is only 1,000 per coin or so, US dollars. So it can still happen that we get a final dump to close below and we don't get this monthly close above, which would delay the Pomponaccio, the pump action to after the halving, because the halving is only in a couple of days. So let's quickly look at the indicators that we say are crucial to determine if we are closer to selling or not. We are at an RSI of 76.58, so nowhere near the 91 line that we want to cross before thinking about selling. And also we are nowhere near the trend line in the monthly. Now we have the lines here in the monthly TSI, which is this one here down below, the total strength index, where the bull cross said basically, okay, we're going to pump now, and where the hit of this trend line would suggest that we are at the end of the move for Bitcoin. Now that all doesn't even include altcoins, but let's look a little bit more for Bitcoin. So we have the rainbow chart here, and the rainbow chart was so far pretty accurate to tell us when to sell. So we have the sell and a maximum bubble territory, and last cycle we didn't even hit the maximum bubble, but we hit the sell territory. And let's just say we're going to hit the sell territory somewhere here, which would be at 160k if we hit it, I don't know, early 2024. But let's just say cycle moves in accordance with more or less what every other cycle does. So here in December, we would be at 185,000 at the seriously sell territory, and at 242 and a maximum bubble price. So somewhere between there, I would expect Bitcoin to land in the end of the year or in the beginning of the next year, somewhere there and thereabout. And we're constantly going to check that on this channel, right? So we are super close at the halving. And at the moment, our current phase, according to this chart, is the hodl phase. So time for buying is over for Bitcoin. Not maybe for the altcoins. There are still altcoins that have very low market caps and they're probably valuable to accumulate. Then there will be this questioning of, hey, is this a bubble or not? And then we're going to go into the extensive FOMO, where retail wants to still have the gains that everyone else already has, and they're FOMOing in to take part in the gains. So that is going to happen. The longer the stretches out, the higher these two ranges move. So let's say we're going into the first quarter, second quarter, we would definitely go into 200,000 Bitcoin. So there and thereabout, we should expect Bitcoin at the moment. But definitely, if we're looking at the phases, we always had this hot phase after the halving. And right now, the only thing is like we're a little bit premature in this hot phase, so already have entered it. But we could still have a corrective move, bringing us in a little bit less hot stage. Overall, we are not too far away from our previous performance. So let's look at this. This is from Stock Money Lizards. I think this is a great thing to look at. So on the bottom, we see our cycles split up in, or this cycle and the past cycle split up in 4 phases. The actual bear market, where exchanges go out of business, people lose all of their funds and so on. The actual accumulation phase, where everyone believes Bitcoin is dead and whales fill up their bags. This is the number A. This is the yellow one. And the pre-bull, which is the bull 1 window, where people are still in doubt and all these like perma bears are putting out, like shorting the market up. And then we have the bull 2, and the bull 2 comes after the halving. So what we have here is a length comparison of these phases, because the question is, are we premature or are we not premature? And we see here, for example, we have slightly shorter bear markets. So the phase where we drop from the all-time high to our bottom is a little bit shorter, more quick, more rapid. The actual accumulation phase is way shorter than before. You see it also here, like not even, but here we see it in a graphical sense, how short it is really, like in terms of days, right? How long these phases are. And then the pre-bull is longer. So we have an increasing pre-halving bull market because the accumulation range is shorter. So that kind of, so we basically can say the bear and the accumulation went into the bull. But if the cumulative one is saying we're about still 500 days or so for the expected post-halving bull market duration. So this is what we see here, which would put us in Q4 2025. So is it a good idea to go into the end of 2024 and sell everything? According to this analysis, probably not. Probably it's better to scale out of Bitcoin maybe in the end of 2024, if our indicators that we just looked at suggest also this. If the rainbow chart suggests that we are in a seriously sell territory, if we even want to scale out of Bitcoin, or we just want to ride this ever appreciating asset, as fiat is an ever depreciating asset, right? So maybe there is a sell and trade back, and maybe there's a hodl back. That's at least how I want to treat the Bitcoin that I have. And yeah, all in all, that tells me that I want to take small chunks, like shave the sheep, so to say, every now and then throughout of 2025 with my altcoins. Also means to me, if it's that long and that much pump still ahead of us, we might want to still look at some altcoins to accumulate to make multiples, right? So I think a lot of people are basically right now looking at altcoin gains and they're like, it's already up 3x, so I cannot buy it anymore. But there are some projects that have not done these X's yet, and that could still be accumulated to get yourself in a position to capitalize. That said, altcoin season. I make this argument every now and then on this channel, so basically every day on my Crypto Morning Coffee. We are in a very huge ascending triangle for the Bitcoin dominance, and Bitcoin dominance is going up. Even on the monthly, we see it in better. Even though we have a red candle here on the monthly that is probably going to close in the red, like going back into the weekly, we see that we are perfectly ranging in this formation. In my opinion, Bitcoin dominance is the moment that Bitcoin closes above and forms 3 or 4 green months. Bitcoin dominance is probably going to skyrocket out of this formation and puts in a new high for this cycle. I'm pretty sure of that. But do your own research and so on, like don't trust only in me. Going in the monthly, we basically have 2 big altcoin seasons that look like this. Before, Bitcoin doesn't look like this, not going to sell my altcoins. And ideally, we want to have Bitcoin increase and then drop hard. And ideally, we want to have Bitcoin, let's put in some lines here. Ideally, we want to have Bitcoin to fall out of this triangle to the downside. And this is not my idea, but I think I like the idea. So I'm going to show this to you. This idea comes from Mustache, and I think his image is even better than my lines. Looking at altcoin dominance, we have basically a bearish triangle that is forming for 7 years. So I want to have, as a strategy, an altcoin bag that I scale out of, but that is still existent when we hit this bottom line, and that maybe is going to pump into absolute Valhalla if we lose this line. So I want to have some altcoins left in case this happens, right? So my scaling needs to be accordingly. So if this happens, we're going to look at the mother of all altcoin seasons and the mother of all crypto markets. I can't stress this enough. This would be crazy. And it's not, from a technical perspective, it's not out of the possible. We're also looking at a DXY, so the dollar value, that is basically in a downtrend. Now, do we have some, quadruple bottom scenarios? We don't really know. But if we take fundamentals now together with it, and yeah, I know. Now all these TAs come out and say fundamentals don't matter. It's all baked in the charts. That didn't work out for many of the TA guys. So let's also take fundamentals in it. We have the halving coming up, fine. That doesn't really affect the dollar, but it affects the dollars flowing into Bitcoin. We have the Bitcoin ETFs already, meaning there's more possibility of dollar being allocated into Bitcoin ETFs, and pension funds and other funds accumulating ETF into their funds. Okay, so there's more inflow possibilities for that dollar to go into Bitcoin. And then finally, we have election year, which means the government in the US and the governments in the world in general, they are going to spend money. In the election years, more spending in the US than usual. In the other regions of the world, there is quantitative easing because otherwise their economies would break. So we have quantitative easing in China, we have quantitative easing in Japan. They need to pump out massive stimulus packets that are going to affect the economy. And from there, they will drive up inflation, and this will increase the salaries of the people, giving them more room to ape into stuff like that, to maximize their profits on what they're getting. So overall, I'd say the prediction here is that the DXY is probably also going to fall sharp. The USDT is going to fall probably sharply, as USDT is then going to add it to the market. And overall, I think the altcoins are benefiting as high-risk assets massively from that move. So here we see our trajectory that we're following since months on this channel. We are very accurate, a little bit premature as we saw already, but pretty accurate with the move of this whole thing here, right? So what is interesting to see is that we are now looking at the total 3. So that are all altcoins except stablecoins, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, which is not an altcoin. So we still have to have a 46% move to also bring the collective altcoin market cap to a previous all-time high. So the moment that Bitcoin closes above, these catch up, we will see a brutal move out of the altcoins. 50% on an Ethereum, or it's not Ethereum, on Solana. That's pretty nice for everyone who is just multiples up on Solana, right? So if you are 4x up, you're 8x up after, or you are 6x up after this move, right? It's a 50% and not a 100%. So anyways, I think there's way more to come, and I think that for the altcoins in general, there is a pretty big bull market to come. Why is this trolling me? There we go. So I think that is already it as an analysis where we are right now. So I would say happy Easter. Smash up the like button if you enjoy these updates coming out every now and then. And let me know in the comments below what you think about the cycle and where we are right now and your strategy on taking profits off your bags. Wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. Have a lot of fun by searching sweets out there if you're celebrating Easter. And I see you in the next live stream or video. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.